Hi and welcome to today's video where I'm going to be showing you how to create your own custom sampler instruments using the EXS24. So the EXS24 is a really cool sampler that comes with Logic. I'll just open it up real quick here to show you. So you can see that it's a bit confronting and the design isn't as pretty as a lot of the other Logic instruments and plugins. And yeah, it can just be a bit confronting for beginners. So today I'm going to show you kind of where to get started and how to make some sense of all of this mess that you can see. So there's two methods that I'm going to show you. One is so if, for example, you have an audio file of someone playing a guitar string or a synth hit or some kind of pitched instrument, I'll show you how to create a zone in the EXS24 so that then you can play that note or play any notes on your MIDI keyboard and it will pitch that audio file up and down. And then I'll also show you another method of using the EXS24, which is for drums. So where you want to load multiple pieces of audio and then just play them back. So yeah, those are the two different things basically that I'm going to show you. So once you've seen this, you'll basically be able to create any kind of sampler instruments that you want with maybe some samples that you've bought online or ones that you've found for free and stuff like that. So I'm just going to start from scratch and go make a new track and have software instrument EXS24 and click create. And then I'll open it up here by going to the EXS24 label. And so this is just a totally empty EXS24 sampler. Yeah, if I play keys on the keyboard, it's just going to play a sine wave. So the first thing we want to do is to load our audio files. So we're going to click edit here, which will open up this instrument editor. And this is where we manage all of the audio files and how they kind of are mapped out on the piano keyboard. And so now what we want to do is click zone and then new zone. And now this has created a new zone, which is represented by this blue strip here. If I scroll across, you can see it goes for the entire length of the keyboard. And we can change the range of this zone by where it says key range here, we've got low and high. And if you click and drag up, I might make it go just from C1 for a couple of octaves just so we can see it. So now you can see this zone is going from C1 to C3. So we could have one file which is applied to these notes, and then we could have another file which is applied to these notes. So you can create whatever zones you want, and you can definitely have multiple different files so that when you're playing up and down your keyboard, the sound is changing. And so now we need to load the audio file. So in this audio file here we got name, we'll click the down arrow and click load audio sample. And then you just want to navigate to wherever your sample is. So I've got some good samples here. And I'll just go synth hits, and then what's one I like? Alright, we'll just pick a random one. Okay, that sounds pretty good. So now all we have to do is click on open. So now you can hear that if I play up and down on my MIDI keyboard, this file will be playing. And since the pitch is ticked, it means that it will pitch it up and down. One thing first is to make sure that you've got the right kind of home pitch selected. So it says here that this synth hit is playing an A note. So the actual audio file is originally the pitch of A. And so then when it says pitch here, it says key, you need to make sure that that's on A as well. Just to make sure that when you're actually playing a C here, it's actually sounding a note which is a C. So just look for the audio file and make sure that it has the same note here as well. So there we go, you can hear that audio file playing. And you can basically use that method for any kind of sound like a synth hit, like I've just described. So cool, the second method is to load multiple audio samples. So I'll just actually close this up just so we can start fresh. So I'll just go load EXS24. So you'll get really quick at this as you start getting used to the process. Click on edit just like last time. And then we're going to go zone and then click load multiple samples. So this will kind of allow you to load multiple things at once. So I'll go sample content here, and then I'll just go drum hits, and let's say that I want to get a bunch of snares. So you can click on the first one, and then if you want, you can add it to the list of what you're actually going to be adding into your instrument. So you can just scroll through, and whenever you find one you like, you can click on it and then press add. I might say I like this one and this one, or you can press shift, so I can say I like this one through to this one, and press add, and it will add all them. So now I've got a whole bunch of audio files here which are queued up to go into my instrument. So if I press done, now it's going to basically ask me how to build the map. So this is important because it's deciding how to spread out these files onto the keyboard. So for drums, you're definitely going to want to press contiguous zones, which will just create a bunch of zones, which each one is one note wide, and it's going to start on C1. So generally you shouldn't need to change any of this. If you're just making a drum sample instrument, you might want to drag the start note down a bit if you've got heaps and heaps of samples that are going to take up the entire range of the keyboard. But in general, you can just leave it like this and press OK. So now we've got all these samples here. If I click on one, its key lights up, so you can see that. And now I can just basically hit some notes on my MIDI keyboard, and you'll hear these ones playing as well. And one important thing to note for drums is that you're almost always going to want one shot to be ticked. And it's going to do this automatically since we went load multiple samples and did it through this method. Because one shot just means that as soon as you press the key, it's going to play the whole audio file every time. It doesn't matter how long you hold the key down for. So if you're playing a snare or a kick drum, almost always you want the whole thing to sound. You don't want, it's not like a piano key where you want to hold it down for 1 second and then take it off. So if I deselect one shot, you can hear how, if I press the key really quickly, it doesn't play the whole note. So that is actually a cool effect in itself. But yeah, just make sure that generally that's what one shot is, so you know, and make sure that most of the time that's ticked. So there you go, that's basically all you need to know to be able to create your own EXS24 instruments. I think it's really handy, and for all sorts of different genres of production, whether it's hip-hop or EDM. I know that personally learning how to create these sampler instruments really helped me, and it's just a great part of your knowledge as a producer. So I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. Make sure you like, comment and subscribe if you did. I would really appreciate the support. It helps motivate me to keep making videos. See you later.
Another day I'm seeing daylight. No sleep, I gotta break night. Sometimes I go and break mics.